Anthony Smith took one hell of a beating. So I would like to start my rant off with, what the hell are you doing, UFC? What are you doing? You put this thing on, I'm guessing ESPN Plus, because it wasn't on ESPN or ESPN2. Great app, ESPN Plus, $5. What you get, I imagine, is good. I don't have it, and there are no live sports. I think ESPN was showing like the 2016 World Series Game 3 or something like that. Put this stuff on ESPN so I can watch it. All right. I digress. I know the results of the card. I actually went back and watched the main event this morning, actually before I started my drive to work here. So, Glover Teixeira just absolutely dominated, 40-year-old Glover Teixeira absolutely dominated Anthony Smith. Now, full disclosure, CHoop Bets, which is a new thing that I'm doing, I'm just telling you my bets, did not go great. I went 2-2. I put a 4-fighter parlay in, felt pretty good about it. Started off pretty good. Ricky Simone beat Ray Borg, and then it all fell apart because I thought Alex Hernandez was going to get the job done because I've seen him fight before, pretty good. Never seen Drew Dober fight, that was my problem. Drew Dober wins, takes down my parlay, but then I took Rothwell over OSP. From what I hear, pretty close fight. Rothwell did get the win, and then in the main event, I thought Anthony Smith was going to take out Glover Teixeira within 3 rounds. He didn't. He actually got butchered. He got beat. Looked like he shouldn't have been in there with Glover Teixeira, which is crazy because Anthony Smith not that long ago fought for the title. Didn't have a good performance, but is what it is. Here's the thing, and now this is my mindset, and I do understand that Anthony Smith, like not that long ago, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, was fighting off armed robbers that that came into his house. I imagine that would have a mental effect on you. Plus, what's going on makes it a little difficult, I would imagine, to train. But Glover Teixeira looked fantastic. Came in great shape and just looked good. So he's not having a problem with it. So I imagine there's ways around it. But yeah, Glover Teixeira, I mean, first round, Anthony Smith went out and was just trying to get him out there early. And I think the trap that he's fallen into is early on when he jumped up to light heavyweight, he was just taking guys out in the first round. And then big names like Rashad Evans, but guys that weren't like top of the heap or haven't been there in a long time, top of the heap. And then he ran into John Jones, got the title fight. Didn't have a good performance at all in that. Went 5 rounds, but just didn't look like he should have been in there. Then he comes back against Gustafsson, beats him. That turns out to be Gustafsson's retirement fight. So now you look back at it, hindsight 2020, knowing what happened yesterday. Was Gustafsson, just not there for that fight because he knew it was going to be his last? I mean, I don't really know how to explain it after seeing what happened last night to Anthony Smith. So right now, I don't think he has a path back to the title. He needs to probably win 3 in a row to even be in consideration at this point. Glover Teixeira is on a 4-fight winning streak. He did look much better than the last time I saw him. And the last time I saw him, he was getting butchered by Alexander Gustafsson in probably the best performance I've ever seen Gustafsson have. And I imagine if he was to get to the title and fight John Jones, we all know John Jones hasn't looked his best recently, and maybe 2 of his last 3 fights people think he could have lost. But I imagine if Glover Teixeira was to get in there with John Jones, it's going to look pretty similar to what Gustafsson did to Teixeira. He's just gonna butcher him. He's not going to be able to get inside. John Jones is just too long. But I like Glover Teixeira. Definitely watch him fight. Because he throws leather. And if he gets on the ground, he's so smooth on the ground that if you're not a jiu-jitsu expert, which I'm not, and I don't really know the sport, but you could tell when someone's good. You could tell when someone's fluent with their movements, and things like that, or when you hear the commentators who do know their shit say something and then the fighter does, you know what I mean? Like, you could just tell who's smooth on the ground. So he's pretty good when he gets to the ground, and he's a joy to watch. But just a beatdown, man. Just a beatdown. Don't know where Anthony Smith goes. Might not see him for a year, honestly, after the beatdown that he took yesterday. And Glover Teixeira, probably going to get a top 5 fighter. I probably wouldn't want to see him fight Reyes. But if he was to fight Reyes or Thiago Santos or one of those guys in the top 5 and was to beat him, you got to give him a title fight. It's exciting. UFC comes back Saturday. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what the card looks like. But when I throw that bet in, you will be able to find that bet on our Facebook page, CHoop Sports. And I will potentially be back and break down, depending on what the card is, the main event, the co-main event. Maybe I'll watch the whole thing. Who knows? Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next one.